Hello, movie friends. Well, I just watched If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and I can't stop thinking about two things. This film is from 2025, directed by Mary Bronstein, stars Rose Byrne, and it's about a woman who's a therapist who's experiencing a lot of personal crises in her marriage, in her practice. She's got a sick daughter, a bunch of other things. She's got a drinking problem, and we kind of watch her life unravel the whole time. And this leads me to the first thing I can't stop thinking about, which is how much I hated this movie. I'm sorry. I don't normally talk about movies that I hate. I don't want to be that kind of film thinker. I like to talk about movies that I love or that inspire me, or if I don't like them, do they offer something else that kind of balances out? This one does not. From the beginning to the end, it's nothing but tension. I mean, if you think Marty Supreme and Uncut Gems is tense, this is like a whole new level. Because at least in Marty Supreme or Uncut Gems, you have moments where you think, oh, they might turn it around. It doesn't happen in this one. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from this. I think it's an interesting thing. It's beautifully shot. There's some really cool shots. There's some cool sounds. There's some really cool moments where she kind of drifts off because she's into taking pills and other things. And visually, there's some really interesting things happening. But story-wise, she doesn't learn. There's no arc. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from this. Obviously, there's a spoiler alert here, but at the end, when she's laying on the beach, tried to kill herself at the end, and I don't know if she imagines her daughter's next to her, who's like 10 maybe, and she asks if she's going to be okay, and then the mom, Rose Byrne, says, I'll be better. Did she imagine that? Like, she's in that state of mind where we don't really know. Maybe she actually did make it out into the ocean and drown. And that's the last thought that's going through her head. I don't know. Nothing changes for her. There's no development whatsoever. It's just one note of tension and just annoying irritation, to be honest. Like watching someone go through something that's so difficult, a multitude of things. But then I kept thinking like, well, when is she going to get it together? When is she going to figure something out? What's the point of a film really if you don't have those things? If you're just one note, this to me felt like we've got some really cool footage for the first act. And then they just didn't shoot anymore. Like we got up to the point of no return where her husband comes home at the end, Christian Slater. Good to see him, by the way, he looks good. And he says like, what are you doing? You're leaving our child in a hotel room by herself while you're out, drinking and whatever. Like, what are you doing? And she tries to kill herself. She ends on the beach. She sees her daughter, whether she imagines it or not. I'm going to be better, she says. That's the point of no return, isn't it? Like she's making a decision, or maybe not point of no return, but something else down the road. We didn't see a full story here. That's what I'm saying. And it's just nothing but tension and conflict. There's no resolution. And I get it if you want to push the boundaries and you want to experiment with things. I'm fine with that. That's great. I support that. But that doesn't mean that there aren't shapes that we could see that would make it a lot better. Does that make sense? And I don't know I don't know anything about the director. I haven't seen any of her other movies. I don't know if they're all like this. It's not a good sales pitch for me to watch other ones because I don't want to see 2 hours of conflict with no resolution where nothing changes, the character doesn't develop. So to me, I fucking hated this movie. Just did. Okay, so the second thing I will say is that the performances are great, but I can't stop thinking about how, despite the performances are great, it doesn't save it. I'm happy for Rose Byrne. I love her in Platonic. I love her in different movies. She's great. Her accent is fantastic, by the way. She's British, but what a great actress. Conan O'Brien is great. Christian Slater's great. Everyone in the movie is great. There's great performances, for sure. Some of her patients are fantastic. But it doesn't save it. The what I mentioned before, and the first thing I can't stop thinking about, the tension with no character development, no release, no resolution, no inspiring bits. We're only seeing like part of the story. And you could argue that you're only seeing part of the story no matter what movie you're watching, and that's true. But in this, it's so confined to the conflict stage that we don't have anything else to look at. I understand why she got nominated, Rose Byrne. I think she deserves it. She's great. But it's not her fault that nothing else happens. You know, maybe she saw the script and thought, oh, this is cool. Maybe it's one of those things where you have to, that's the footage that you have. Maybe they tried a resolution and it didn't work in production. And when they got into post, it's like, well, we have to stick with this theme of just tension. Let's just try it. Who knows? There's lots of places where a movie can fall through, right? I believe that Rose Byrne's nominated for Best Actress, but the movie isn't nominated for anything else. And I'd say that that's about right. You know, despite the great performances, it's just too, it has a lot of flaws, in my opinion. And I don't like to discourage experimentation with form and all that. I welcome that. But we have to be real and say that it's not always going to work. It's just not. And for me, this film does not work. All right, I want to know what you think. Did you see it? Did you feel the same thing that I did? Has that Uncut Gems Marty Supreme kind of feel, only to the max? And at least in those movies, there's a little bit of, there are moments where you think they might get out of this or they might learn something. They don't. But there are moments where you feel almost inspired a little bit, where I never felt that was this. It was just constant drama. So I want to know what you think. Put it below. Let's have a discussion about it. Do you think Rose Byrne deserved an Oscar leading lady nod? You know, I could see it for sure. I can't imagine seeing this in the theater. I would have felt so trapped. You know, I'm glad I saw this one at home. Sometimes though, maybe seeing things in the theater changes your mind. So maybe if I had seen it in the theater, I might have seen more things in it. And maybe subsequent viewings will change my mind where I feel like I didn't give it enough credit or props. But I don't think so. So for me, this is a, you know,